Hello my friends, and as always thank you very much for watching my video. So this video is for those of you that like to collect cartridge belts and stuff like that, history buffs. Um, what I have as the title of this video is a Mexican cartridge belt. Now Mexico, I've seen pictures from 1920s, 1940s, and 60s and such, before they were using the M16 style rifle. And I've seen them with quite a few different cartridge belts that I do have, and I may have showed them to you in my other videos, but this one down here is actually one that is a little bit rare, kind of hard to find, or at least get out of Mexico, because they don't sell their stuff. They don't like we do here in the United States. They sell all the surplus stuff, and of course from the world around, they'll buy stuff to sell here. But in Mexico, they do not like that. They don't like people having military gear, even clothing. My cousin got busted one time because his friend had given him some uh, military trousers way, like, I don't know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And he was literally walking in the college, and he saw there was some military officer walking in the college doing something, and he called him out. He's like, "What are you doing with those pants? Those are not your pants. Those are military pants." And he told him, "If I see you walking around this campus again with those pants, I'm going to take them off you and let you walk around in your underwear." And my cousin also told me that he's had a friend who, walking down the street, he had military boots on that he had somehow acquired, and some military guy saw him and took his boots on the street. So it's very difficult to get Mexican stuff in public, or even out of Mexico, I suppose. And so this particular cartridge belt is pretty interesting. But in Mexico, they did tend to copy a lot of American stuff, which is interesting because there was so much surplus. You'd think they would have just bought it. And what I have down here is the Mexican cartridge belt. And as you can see from the back, now the top here is a repro. I ended up selling my World War II pattern 1923 cartridge belt a long time ago. But as you can see, they're quite similar. And from the pictures I've seen online, the Americans always had three. And now that I have this example here, I see that they only have two. It's also the same length, same 5 pouches. The belt here, of course, now this is a repro, so they made it for chubbier people like myself. And of course, this is an original one, so it's a lot smaller. And it looks somewhat pretty much similar. If you look closer here, this is what the Mexican one looks like. This is what the American one looks like. It is pretty much similar. Now the Mexican one, the bottom ones are like this. Now these repros are not 100% exactly, but they're pretty much like 90% accurate as far as what the original ones look like. But what's really cool now, there wasn't a British version of the American one in this dark green kind of color. And of course, the Americans started to use the darker green in 1945, and of course during the Korean War. But like I said, the back here looks different. This looks the same. I mean, they look like identical. There might be a slight difference here. This might not even be a correct original, but I gotta get me an original again. And of course, these, quite similar. These, I remember, they are original style. But what I wanted to show you all was that here I actually have authentic Mexican stripper clips, and I believe these are from 1895 style. I'm not sure what they look like in the 1930s and 40s, but if you look up Mexican infantry 1923, you'll see a particular uniform, a particular cartridge belt that I do have. If you look up 1940s, you'll see that they're already wearing the Adrian style helmet. They're wearing the Schutztruppe third pattern. 1950s and 60s, you start maybe seeing a little bit of the leather 1923 Mexican one, not the American one, the Mexican one. And then also in the 70s or 80s, they started, of course, using um, the M16 style stuff and different styles helmets. 1968, they started to wear a different helmet, more like American style. But in any case, as you can see, the color is quite different, and this is very, very green, maybe like the British style, but I do not believe that this is a British made cartridge belt. The ones I've seen are very Americanish style. Now, as you can see, one huge, huge difference, of course, is going to be the lifted dots. The American one has like an oval, almost oval shape, as you can see that, and the Mexican one is quite round. And the front is very round, but they're similar. They're very, very similar. This has stitching here, a little hard to see. The stitching seams here. The material is the same style webbing. This, of course, is a different color. The Americans, as far as I do know, that they were black or blackened. And what's interesting is that for the Americans, the pockets here were quite easy for the M1 Garand, end block clip to come in and out. While for the Mexican one here, it's more shallow. It's not such a big pocket, and in fact, you can kind of put this one in there, but you have to really shove it in there. Now, I've seen also the throughout the whole war for the Americans, they have that strap that goes over. For example, it comes in from the back and it goes over. I've seen that. The British one, from the pictures I've seen, the British one has that too. Now, this one here is, you have to really shove the end block clip deep in there, so it makes it very difficult to get out, as opposed to the American, which is, you can see it sticking out right there. Very easy to just grab a hold of it and yank it out. But this one here, this is why I'm not so really sure this is American or American made, because it's just too difficult to get it out. And now the stripper clip here, it's actually more comfortable to have just one stripper clip. Really simple, really easy to get in and out. Two is a little bit more difficult, kind of a pain. These are bullets, 1936 Mexican bullets, 1936. These are actual Mexican bullets, 1936. Interesting, they still use the hardened lead that were introduced in the 1880s, 1890s. They were still using these for their 7mm Mausers. And of course, they went to 30-06 in the 1954 Mexican Mauser model. Before that, they were all 7mm. But yeah, you kind of have to shove that in there, and it's still, no, gotta shove it in there more. And I'm really pulling this to close it. So it's very, like I said, this is much more simpler. And one, this is like, it's almost like, like stuffed and jammed in there. But in any case, you can see the color difference. I am 99% sure that this is not made for an NM1 clip, and so there's no markings on this thing, and I think it's really nice, really cool looking little piece of history here for any of you that's interested. If you ever find anything from Mexico, it's quite interesting. Like I said, it's very, very difficult to get stuff into the civilian market there. And also, I do have a 1950s canteen that looks exactly like an American canteen, except it says made in Mexico or hecho en Mexico. So anyway, I just wanted to share a little something with you all there. Big telltale sign is this round lifted dot here. That's the number one thing that should pop out to anybody. And the color, I think the color could be confused with the late war and the Korean era style, but I think that this is quite a unique little piece. So I hope you all enjoy it. Let me know if you guys know anything different than what I'm figuring out here. Okay, thank you.